Okay, alright, so let's see, what am I doing? I found a new backdrop. I don't know if people are gonna like it or not, but here we go. Okay, so we'll start with just I did some updates to the playlist. So I put a filling in the gaps section of the playlist, and I put the pins, the post-it notes, pins, etc. That playlist, and they're all for the storyboard. And then I put the soundtrack, the event soundtrack, and maybe I'll just talk about the soundtrack a little bit. So when I was going through all this, you know, when it first started, it was in Denver, and it was really fucking hard because my job is like so super insane. It's pure slavery. It's like full on slavery, and so it's hard enough just doing that job. And so when my psycho ex like dumped me in the middle of this fucking insane job, it was totally planned. It's like it couldn't have been more perfect timing if she wanted to, cause as much damage as possible. So I mean, even in the very beginning, it was obvious. It was just pure malice. It was pure malice. That's what it was. Because she knew every year I did that job, and she knew how fucking insane it is. So for her to do that in the middle of that job was all part of the plan. It's all about causing as much suffering and damage to me as possible, and for no reason. Other than it's just ritualistic. That's all it is. It was just a ritual, like a form of sacrificial ritual. And so, but this is before I found out, like, about her being a self-proclaimed witch and stuff. So, anyways, so I was like having a real hard time. My job is like really, really insane. And it's like, 16, 17-hour days, 7 days a week for 5 weeks is that job. And like I said, she already knew how totally insane that job is. And based off of just mine and her relationship, like at the very least, if she were going to do that, at the very least, it would be wait till I get back from the job and then just talk to me in person, or even over the phone, whatever. And so it was just every sign pointed to, like, this is just a complete, just to, the only focus of it was to cause harm to me, and it was for no reason. Like, she had no reason to cause harm to me. So, anyways, and so I was halfway through this job when she pulled this fucking Judas kiss, and so it was really fucking hard. It was really hard for me just to be able to maintain to finish out the rest of the job. So and and so, like, during all this, I was really like trying to figure out how am I going to power through this job. And I just decided I'm gonna fucking just shut off the outside world as much as I can while doing this job. And so I looked through my playlist of music that I had on my phone, and the albums. There were 3 albums that I would just listen to ritualistically, and it really helped me. And one, I think probably the most helpful one was Motorhead's album Orgasmatron, and so I would just like listen to that constantly. That, and then well, it's hard to say what order, which one was most helpful. But the three that I would just listen to them over and over again was Motorhead's album Orgasmatron, Queens of the Stone Age album, Songs for the Deaf, and the band called Elder. The album is called Reflections of a Floating World. And so I put those in the playlist, and then of course 46 and 2, the Tool song 46 and 2, and just like shit that really seemed to be like most relative to the story. But anyway, so I did that. I put that. It's called the event the event soundtrack. And anyways, what else updates as far as that goes? So yeah, so I've I've started putting videos in the notes, the post-it notes playlist, and because the post-it notes thing really helps me kind of to where I can keep working on this project without the constraints of just keeping to this strict format of the event, the post-event, and the pre-event. Like that's even though that's what I'd like to do, it's not that easy. It's kind of hard to do. So kind of just going into some of the details of things and really going deep into them, like the psychology, like the whole mentality of my Psycho X. Like she's totally insane. So going into that, and all this shit. So I'm gonna be using that anytime I'm talking about the event, but I'm going like into aspects of it. They're gonna go in the notes, the post-it notes, and then let's see. And then the gap, the event gap fillers. I think I'm gonna start on that today. I haven't put any videos in the gap filler yet, but the gap fillers is all this shit that I've left out. That's important, that I've left out in the event, the pre-event, and the post-event. All that's gonna go in gap fillers. So I'm gonna have to like title the video where it goes, where it fits in the gap on the storyboard, depending on whether it's the pre-event, the event, or post-event. And then so I'm gonna probably do that today. Start the gap filler, and then start, like, I'll probably post a gap filler video today, and then I had some thoughts I wanted to talk about, just about I don't know. I'll just try to go into it. First of all, I wanted to say, like, I just watched a Gypsy Fox video. I would suggest anybody that might be watching my videos go check out Gypsy Fox. He's like one of the only real people that I can find that's doing a channel. And so anyways, and like he put a video out a day, like a day and a half ago, and I didn't know until I just found it last night, and I watched it, and he's just kind of talking about what's going on with him, like, currently, and it's pretty fucking intense. It's almost hard to listen to just because how fucked up, the shit that he's going through is pretty fucking crazy. But anyways, so yeah, man, I would say go check him out. If I were to you know, suggest a channel, if you're looking for like a real person that's just talking about real life stuff. And anyway, because I was thinking about like what his video was, because I watched the video, and then it kind of got me thinking about other stuff. I can't remember how it segued into whatever I started thinking about, but I started thinking about, well, well, how I ran my last channel that I had for like 6 or 7 years. And I have what I guess you would call maybe a resentment, because I spent like, 6 or 7 years doing this channel, and it was all about basically like manufactured poverty, and how it's such a massive, huge component of all this shit that everybody's talking about, all this popular, trendy shit, and how nobody would ever connect the dots on how manufactured poverty is directly tied to so much of everything. And I did it for 6, 7 years, and mostly got nowhere outside of a small handful of people that were receptive to it. Outside of that, it's just like I got nowhere. And then on top of it, most of the feedback was negative. Most of it was just shit, ignorant, just ignorance and stuff. So I have not. So this channel is kind of well, I mean, when I think about all that I did for that last channel, I'm not wasting fucking 7 years of my life trying to open people's eyes to something that people refuse to acknowledge. Ignorance is bliss, man. What does it say? There's a quote where it said something like, "You can't convince someone of something when their paycheck is dependent on them being ignorant of it." And that's exactly the way the system is set up. Is everyone's paycheck is dependent on them being ignorant of manufactured poverty and all the U.S. poverty. Everything is based on that. Just continue to ignore that. Just continue to perpetually ignore, the over 1 million U.S. homeless citizens. And everybody is so brainwashed to ignore it that it's impossible to penetrate it. So it's like, why even address an audience? When they choose ignorance, they choose to be ignorant. So with this channel, I'm like a lot less focused on the audience, like addressing an audience. Like, here, let me tell you stuff that I know. Nobody fucking cares. That's the whole problem with everything, is apathy. The mass population of this country is purely apathetic, and all you have to do is take one good look at homelessness in the U.S. and you see that everybody's apathetic. All anybody cares about is themselves, and fuck everyone else. And they can deny it. Everybody can deny it all they want. Again, ignorance is bliss. Just keep denying it. So I don't even. I'm not even wasting my time trying to address an audience anymore, because it's just people don't want the truth. They don't want to. They act like they want the truth. And this is not just. I mean, this is like I've referenced the Snowden interview, where Snowden is explaining how there's all these conspiracies that are going on, real conspiracies that are going on right in front of our face all day, every day. And it's so ridiculous that that mainstream media will give regular daily updates on them, and nobody even pays attention to any of them at all, because everybody wants to talk about the jabs and the Jays and Freemasonry and reptilians and like all this other shit. No, they don't even. They just want to hear what they want to hear. So all these mass massive conspiracies that are going on right in front of our face all day, every day, and we're getting updates on them all day, every day. Like nobody pays any attention to them because they want to hear what True Stream Media has to say, and Crow House, and Richie from Boston, and everyone else, Mark Dice, and all these big channels. It's all propaganda. It's all designed to keep the audience from looking at what Snowden is describing. How there's all these insane conspiracies that are going on right in front of our face, like all fucking day, every day. Like the whole thing that the money system is rigged. The money system is rigged. That's why I get pissed off when people start talking about how the vote, like people go insane, like about how the voting system is fake and rigged, but they won't even mention the money system being fake and rigged. And that one's the money system being fake and rigged is way more of a fucking serious issue than the voting system. And nobody's ever talking about how the money system is fake and rigged. And then the naysayers will be like, oh yeah, they are, blah, blah, blah. Well, then how come nobody's talking about the fucking over 1 million U.S. displaced homeless populations all over this country? Everybody's ignoring that. Well, the reason is because blah, just a big pile of, it's stupid. When they try to rationalize how nobody's talking about the over 1 million displaced U.S. homeless citizens, it's just vomit. It's just brain dead.